Between two bald girls.
I'm going to do a clap.
Okay.
That will be different in everyone's recording.
Yeah, that's
so we can not line that up.
yeah, perfect.
Wonderful. Okay, so we can give Adam a quick spiel just
Yeah,
so
give
he
him the spiel.
knows what he signed up for. So our podcast is called Between Two Bald Girls.
Yep.
It is tangentially related to music, but it's mostly comedy. So, but not like, I mean, comedy in the sense that we're just going to mostly shoot the shit.
Yeah, goofs. Sure, I get it.
Yeah, have you heard of goofs? Sure.
I'm fluent. I'm a fluent goof. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, before we begin, we've also been told by another goof to say hello to you. But
Which
we're
one?
also going to get to that. But
Is it a Mikey thing?
It's
okay.
a Mikey thing. Yeah.
Okay. Love it.
So yeah, we're just going to jump straight in.
You keep saying that, but we keep not.
And then we don't.
I keep being told before we get started.
You'll know once we've jumped.
Yeah, just let me know. Just say the word. I'm here. I'm ready. And as soon as we're ready, just let me know and we'll begin. I'd love to begin.
So, listeners, we're going to jump right in. We have Adam Schatz today.
Real quick, just let me know when we've started so I'm like ready.
Yeah, I will.
Okay, good.
He's the brainchild of
We've started.
No, I haven't started.
Yes, we have.
Okay, fine.
Should we start over? Maybe we should start over.
No, this is good. They're going to know. They're going to know.
Okay.
The listener?
Yeah.
Good.
I swear
Adam
we've done this
Schatz.
before.
Yeah.
Brainchild of Landlady. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. This is so exciting.
We were very honored to have you on the podcast today because there have just been so many times in the course of, I think, maybe 5 years, right, Hannah? Would you say that's when this all started?
Sure.
And so
Adam's so confused already.
No, I'm on board. You can't listen. This is an audio medium, so you could say anything about me. And in fact, that was, I'm just going to call the lies out as they come. And that was the first one. That was the first lie. So if you're keeping track at home,
yeah,
that was a lie.
Adam's the fact checker for this episode.
I'm not, for myself, yeah, self-facts, definitely.
Yeah.
No, I'm not, I've never been confused. I wouldn't know confused if it
yeah, so
confused me.
One thing I can say for certain is that Adam's not confused.
Yeah, we're going to test that, though.
Thank you.
5 years. 5 years we've had missed connections with Adam Schatz of Landlady. It's been a struggle, you know. We keep coming so close to being best friends, and then we just don't ever actually meet.
Yeah.
You know, and so it's one of those stories as old as
time.
As old as they come, as old as time. And Hannah, maybe you want to take us through a few missed connections.
Yeah, so cue the themed music. The first missed connection. Let's start with like the chillest, and then we'll get more intimate.
Yeah, we'll get on. Oh, we'll get intimate.
Okay, so the first missed connection is that our manager
Yes.
is really obsessed with one musician and one musician only in New York. And no, it's not Hannah or JJ of Overcoats. And it's not Adam of Landlady.
Oh, then what are we talking about?
It's Ian Chang.
Oh, sure. The greatest. Ian Chang, the greatest.
The greatest. Every time Overcoats LLC needs anyone, drummer or otherwise, our manager Tom suggests that we call up Ian Chang.
Sure.
Like literally anything we're doing, Tom is like, I know a great drummer named Ian Chang. And we're like, yeah, we've heard of him, Tom. You talk about him every single day.
I want to be clear that we've never called up Ian Chang.
Yeah. No, we haven't done it.
But we happen to know that Ian Chang drums for a certain landlady because...
Ian and I, yes, because why? Because why?
Taking us to our second misconnection,
Okay, great.
we saw our friends who were in a band called Teen
Of course.
open for Landlady,
Where?
which had Ian Chang playing drums.
Yes.
It was at Rough Trade.
So that wasn't, I think that was a Lizzie Lieberson set. That's what I think.
Oh.
How about
Yeah,
that? Lie, second lie,
Yeah,
second
you're
lie of the
so
pod.
right. You're so
Second
Oh
lie of
my
the
right.
pod.
This podcast is full of lies.
This is brutal. This is brutal. I'm embarrassed for you.
Yeah,
And I'm
yeah.
doubly embarrassed for me.
Yeah.
I'm really embarrassed for you. Awkward. Yeah, it was a
Lizzie
Loveless
Loveless. It was
It was a Lizzie Loveless. It was a Lizzie Loveless show featuring nearly every member of the dream lineup of Teen, so it might as well have been a.
show. Yes. And yeah,
That was a good show.
It
That
was
a
a
really
great
fun show.
It
That's
was
so
a great
cool you
show.
were there.
Ian Chang killed it.
Always. So Ian and I, should I interrupt or you want to like
Please.
go through
Yeah,
all the connections
please.
still?
We'll allow
Okay,
you to
great.
speak on this
Oh,
podcast.
thank you. We Ian and I went to college together, so we've been playing music together since 2007, like a really, really long time.
Wow.
And it's sort of always been, I don't like in music school, the weirdos kind of find each other and you realize that you have a shared language, and it really is equal parts like love of music and discovering new things, and then goofs and food. And it's all those things kind of wrapped up into one. So he's one of my best buds, and we've made loads of music together over the years. We have an improvising band called Father Figures, which almost never plays anymore, and
Great.
miss it because it's all, some of my best friends from that time, and it's true, we're the best band ever. The one that you have to dig a little more to find, but I love revealing to people, is I had a band called Previously on Lost, which existed from the years 2008 to 2010 with my friend Jeff Curtin, and we wrote songs that recapped every episode of the TV show Lost for season 4. We would write and record it every week.
Brilliant.
Over the course of one day, and then put it up on MySpace.
Where can our
Great.
listeners find these recordings now?
They're on Spotify now. They thrived on they thrived on MySpace.
Of course.
Yeah.
Say this, and that was truly, without a doubt, that band. It'll be the most press I'll ever get in my entire life, or anyone you know, because it just like had a hook and something really stupid to write about. And we had kind of, Jeff and I were sick of writing songs about our feelings anyway, so it was like a really good break. So for like 2 years, that was my life. And then I started Landlady right after because I was ready to talk about my feelings again. But Ian Chang drummed in that band. He would wear a lab coat. We all wore really silly outfits on stage, and we would crash an airplane at the beginning of every show, making While I Believe I Can Fly played, and we would make it out of cardboard. And we played at Princeton one time at the famed Terrace House, and in like advance for that show, we were like, can some of your engineering students like make us a better airplane? And they made this incredible cardboard plane. Anyways, all to say, when, after you get sick of my serious artwork, if you look up Previously on Lost, the best thing to do, because each song corresponds with an episode in season 4.
Yeah.
So if you're watching the show, God forbid, you should just listen to one after each one, and you can hear all
Yeah.
all
Well,
the
that's a great
jokes.
suggestion for all of our listeners.
Yeah.
And I'm sure everybody's going to go out there and do that.
Yeah. Speaking of Landlady,
Yes.
which brings me to my third misconnection. We just so happened to be in the stew. Just for our listeners, that's slang for studio. With our good friend Mikey Hart.
That was helpful for me too. I didn't know what you were talking about.
Yeah, it can be hard for aspiring musicians to understand. And he mentioned
Savage.
you, and we were like, well, we know about Landlady. And he was like, well, I used to be in Landlady. So tell us
It's
about
true.
that. How was Mikey as a bandmate?
Oh boy. Well, I love Mikey.
Yeah.
We'll preface it with that. He's an incredible musician, incredible guy. He played on our second record, Upright Behavior, which a lot of people think is our first record. And since then, we had the first album, Indigo Street, played guitar. Second album, he played guitar. And then this new album marks the first time we've had the same guitarist for more than one album, which feels great. Feels great for me, which is our current axeman, Will Grave. But Mikey was a phenomenal bandmate musically, and he joined a lot of bands at the same time, and then pretty quickly couldn't be in the band because they were more successful than me, which happens a lot, and I worry it will continue to happen. But it's the way it goes. I cherish the time we shared. We played some really fun shows together, and I miss making music with him. We also played together in another band, an Afrobeat band called Zongo Junction, and that was really fun because we could get into it. I've also just like learned so much hanging out, like listening to records and talking about music with Mikey, because he knows so much about New Orleans music and about West African music, and it's just like we kind of met right as I was getting deeper and deeper into all of that stuff, and it's a bottomless pit of joy and possibility.
Mikey told us that he's a really bad influence on you. Is that true?
I don't know.
He makes you want to do bad things. That's what he said.
No, that's the thing. I think Mikey thinks too highly of himself.
Oh, yeah. Giving himself too much credit there?
Yeah. There was one time, I'll say this about Mikey. I was at... I feel like he's referencing this in particular, which is different. Actually, I don't think he is, because I think he moves too fast to remember this. But we have a mutual friend, Rich Levinson. They lived on the same floor for a long time.
Name drop.
Rich and I... Yeah, name dropping Rich Levinson. Rich is a phenomenal musician, and he and Mikey, I think, first met playing a lot of like Dixie, New Orleans type stuff, and then also had a shared interest in free jazz and improvising and all sorts of magic like that. But I was at Rich's apartment, which is on the same floor as Mikey's place, and Rich and I had a great time. And then Mikey showed up kind of right as I was leaving, and for whatever reason, he was giving me a hard time for not having an iPhone, because that's what bullies do. They find the thing about you that's different, and then they needle it. And so he saw my phone and was bullying me about it, and I was like, listen, like iPhones like crack, the screens shatter when you sneeze on them, like that doesn't happen with this, my trusty Android watch,
your Motorola Razr.
Please, lie number 3. It was an Android, and people would say it was a Sidekick, but it wasn't. It was my last phone
BlackBerry.
that had I used to love my BlackBerry. It was the last phone I had that had like a real keyboard you could type into. I really do miss that, but it also weighed like 90 pounds. Anyways.
Worth it.
Yeah. I was like, no, your phone's crack, mine won't. Watch this. And I threw my phone pretty far. And I think I don't know what I was aiming for, but there was a part of the floor that was a rug and a part that was cement. And it landed on the cement. And I went to pick up my phone, and there was a giant crack down the middle. And it didn't work at all.
I swear, I think that's what Mikey was referring to as well.
I hope so.
Because he said something about throwing a phone.
Yes, that was it. But what I said, he's saying he's making himself look like some sort of cool bad boy.
Bad boy.
What I said after that moment, I was like, Mikey, you are my Cat in the Hat. You show up. Things are totally cool before you show up, and it's not what he was saying.
Lie number 4. No, just kidding.
But a bad influence. I mean, listen, I'm gonna come.
We
full
only
circle
count
and say,
for our lies.
Yeah.
He's right. Because the Cat in the Hat was an absolutely horrible influence.
So, Landlady has a new album, and that new album just came out.
Yes.
Tell us about it. This is very exciting for us best friends of Landlady that have never met Landlady.
Oh, but those are the old days. This is a bright future, my dude.
It sure is. It sure is.
Yeah, the record is our fourth album. It's self-titled because I couldn't think of another one, but I kind of like it that way. It just looks good. The album art is a weird paper cutout version of the band, which came out of this music video for our song Supernova, made by this wonderful animator named Case Jernigan, name drop.
Name drop.
And he, pick it up. And he kind of inserted us at the end of the video in this cutout style, and I really loved it. And just one of the things about last year was I had so much time to like think and work on the visual side of the record, because there was like I didn't know when I was going to put it out, because I've been mastered by May, I think, or maybe even March, and you just ask yourself like when would be a good time to put out new music, and then a giant voice yells like never would be a good time.
Yeah.
And so I waited until after the election and then picked a date at random. But now I don't know, it's out in the world. I'm releasing a bunch of writing along with it as sort of like a sibling thing, and I'm just thrilled people can get to know it, and I can move on to making the next thing.
That's
Totally. Later on today's episode.
It sounds like there's a bubble in your throat.
What's it like making a fourth album?
Oh, what a great question. It is. There is something cool about, there's like a familial growth aspect. Not everyone's been in the band the whole time, but Ian has. So
course.
it's sort of...
Dear Ian, who
Name
I've
drop.
never met.
Sweet Ian. And so all of our records sort of chart a developing relationship in
Between
that
you and
way.
Ian. Yeah.
Yeah, especially. But there's
How much
also
is it developed?
A lot. A
Yeah,
lot.
that's what I
That
thought.
much, yeah. Imagine like the most developed thing you can think of and then like double it.
Wow.
This record was the first one we've really like arranged in the studio, and it's a real testament to the band as a whole. We're a 4-piece now, and everyone's just a gifted improviser and listener, and we've toured together so much that there's a lot of wonderful mind reading and trust going on. And I think in the past that type of endeavor made me really nervous to not over rehearse songs before we went in, and instead we sort of did it the other way around. And I'm pleased with how it came out. It's also, if you like listen to yourself on all your albums in order, especially the way I've paced them out, it's like listening to different people, because I'm aging, my voice sounds different, the songs feel different. I don't know.
Sometimes when Hannah and I listen to our singing voices from like just 5 years ago, we're just like, who is that? Like the way we sing is completely different from album to album.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do totally understand, Adam, why you've kept making music, though, because I definitely would say that, the response of fans to your music has been very positive. When we were doing some research for this episode, we were taking a look at, some fan comments on YouTube. I think it was on your tiny desk.
Yeah.
Sure.
And I'd like to read some aloud now.
Yeah, let's bring them up, and I'm gonna follow along too to see if there's
If there's a
Lies.
lie. Yeah.
well, definitely, yeah. I mean, you know me. Let's hear it.
Yeah, so we've got where are the innovators? Oh, thank goodness. There you are. Easily my favorite this year. Awesome band and sounds.
This is real music. Interesting sounds. I listened through the entire video, which I don't usually do.
Love that short scale bass. Great tone.
These guys are so awesome. Real nice dudes. Hope they get out near me soon.
So, Adam, we wanted to talk to you because, we have 2 albums out.
Yeah,
We want to make a third.
sure.
but-
And I'm inclined to let you.
I appreciate that inclination, but here's
Yeah.
the thing, Adam.
Lay it on
think
me.
the fans just aren't having it.
With
Like-
you. Where are your
like,
comments? Yeah.
We had a hard time looking at your comments because we knew what ours looked like. And
Yeah.
we went just to compare to see if we had any chance of one day making a fourth album. And I want to read you some of our Tiny Desk comments in comparison.
Okay, I can't. Yeah, lay it on me.
Sure. Jay, are you ready to chime in as well?
Yes.
I'll start. This is cool. I love Broad City.
Random, but the girl with the dark hair, that's me, looks just like Abbi from Broad City.
Oh, no.
They really look like coats.
What's with the way they pronounce their R's?
That poor guitar.
Why did they get the drummer if they mostly sing to playback anyway?
Not a massive fan of the music, but their energy is great. These guys would be great at a party.
Didn't the girl in the black hair, that's me, try to kill John Wick?
I'm becoming a Mormon. I've decided I need 2 wives.
Another pair of baby talk singers.
In my opinion, this is whack.
Listen, I like John Wick. I feel like that's a compliment. Yeah. I feel like that one was a compliment.
We've got a couple more really good ones sort of
Okay, lay
further
it on.
down.
Let's read a couple more Landlady ones just to really get the effect.
Oh, yeah, you're
No,
right.
but listen, you wait a minute. You have nice comments too, and I have bad comments too.
Landlady, we couldn't find any. These guys are amazing. The modern day Steely Dan.
Well, that just sold me the album. Brill.
And then quickly back to ours.
Yeah. This blows.
Boring.
So lip-synced like IDK, kind of a disgrace to NPR.
What is she even playing in the guitar? Like 2 chords per hour.
Are those lesbians? Question mark.
Overcoats? More like oversized shirts. And where are their pants? Why doesn't the drummer match them? Is he not a member of the group? Now I'm angry.
So you see why there's a little bit of trepidation about our fourth album.
Now you listen to me. And this is, first of all, I'm happy to say, I almost always read the comments because there are never that many. And it's just, I'm in a place career-wise where I'm like, oh, like if someone even follows me on Instagram, like I'm going to click and see who that is because maybe that's someone who can help me or maybe it is a robot. And almost all of the time it is in fact a robot.
We wanted to make this episode about negative comments that we both got on YouTube.
Yeah.
But we quickly realized that we couldn't find a single one.
We do have I found one. Are you ready?
Yeah, right.
Oh,
This is
yeah,
me.
I'm ready.
This is me. Because it's funny how this one's kind of hidden. 3 years ago, I commented on our own Tiny Desk concert because I am nice. And I wrote, taking a moment here to thank everyone for watching so far and for saying such nice things about us and the performance. Adam. I think I also did that to try and recontrol the narrative because now if you go to the video, you'll see even before the comments, there's a lot of NPR merchandise for sale. And it's like, come on, this is supposed to be about us. And then below...
Classic NPR trying to sell their merchandise.
Yeah, like as if they need to advertise.
Yeah, it's like we already know most of what they say isn't true. So and the comments are all pretty nice in reply to what I wrote. And there are 7 of them. And they're all very nice. And then the last one is someone named Mike Kramer.
Name drop.
Who 10 months ago wrote, "Sounds like you have a bubble in your throat." Sounds like you have a bubble in your throat. And that was about what I sound like when I sing. And I was pretty self-conscious about that.
About your bubble.
Well, especially about the bubble. I know that it sounds like there's a bubble in my throat. You didn't have to remind me. But to then reply...
Yeah, like what does he think you are, an idiot?
What does he think? I have a bubble in my throat? The thing that usually happens, though, and I think this is universal across any sort of thing like this, but especially in the Tiny Desk concerts, it's if you usually a lot of the comments are like just people saying, Thundercat, get Thundercat to play. How come Thundercat isn't doing one?
Yeah, I saw a bunch of those.
You guys had one.
Yours.
You had the Wolfpack one, and it's like, guys, it's just the internet's a pretty bad place, and I think the representation of people on it is false, and I don't even like thinking about it. It makes me sad, even thinking about Mike, my enemy, my greatest enemy.
Yeah. I have a similar opinion. Like I've had to learn from Hannah because Hannah is able to take these comments and laugh at them and think like, wow, that's so hilarious. But when I read them, I get like genuinely upset because I'm like you, like I don't want to be told I have a bubble in my throat, you know, or like that I'm.
Well,
not
no one's
wearing...
telling you that. They're telling me that.
Yeah, JJ, don't make this about you.
Do you see what I mean? I feel like I'm the crazy one. No, it's just there is a thing. Yeah, it's just it ultimately leads me to feel bad for the commenter because I'm just like, what put you in a like state of mind that you're like, oh, a definite, like a really good thing for me to do here is to put a comment that they look like the girls from Broad City. That's like good. That's good. It makes me feel good. It will make them feel something, probably positive. I'm going to do it. The internet's good.
Yeah.
It's bad. Internet's bad.
But it's always enlightening when I check up on the Tiny Desk comments because I just think it's a special place for commenters. It's just really something else.
And that's the thing about it. Yeah, like on videos that you've posted on your own page, you're mostly getting your fans. So they're saying maybe nice things in Adam's case, not in ours.
Yes,
but,
maybe.
On a Tiny Desk, you know, it's not hosted on your page. It's like it gets shown to all these people that don't know your music. And those are the people that want to bring you down.
Well, they want to at least have a chance, but they're jealous. They're jealous that you get to be on the thing. They're jealous that you look like the
Abbi
girls from
Jacobson.
Broad City. Yeah.
Yep.
They're John Wick, and what are the other ones?
They're jealous. They're jealous of your short scale bass.
Yeah, listen, that's not my bass. And again, I can't stress this enough. The comments that weren't about me specifically, they hurt my feelings too.
Yeah.
I have very thin skin. Do you read reviews, or are you one of the people who lies and says you don't?
Which type?
We've never had
music
a review.
reviews.
Yeah, music reviews.
About us.
I read them from time to time.
About you. Like if someone posted a thing.
Have we ever had a review, Hannah?
That's the thing. They honestly don't even happen very often anymore. So it's not.
I feel like most articles that get written about us are basically just like our bio. Like our publicist just sends the bio, and then all these places they post the bio. And
I know.
Like, well,
it's cool.
Glad I did that 4-hour interview.
It's it's bad. Things are bad. I don't like to complain about it, but it's why you're doing this. You're making this thing. You're taking charge of the narrative. I think, and I'm happy. I would love to be a part of this project. Actually, I feel like we should make a pretty long recording of you reading those
comments.
Tiny Desk comments.
Yeah, there are more.
Oh, I'm sure there's, because listen, let's really like call it what it is people like see us on NPR and they're fucking old dudes and they're like, oh, thank God, the second coming of Steely Dan. Oh, thank God. Oh, short scale bass. Oh, I love it. Oh, sounds like there's a bubble in your throat. And then
wait a minute.
And
I think that your bubble guy commented on our Tiny Desk too. I've just found a comment. It's just me, of course, but I find this boring and sophomoric. Got the substance of a soap bubble.
Wait a minute. This isn't the same person. I got excited, but you just said it was. You really think it's the same bubble?
I mean, who talks about bubbles on Tiny Desk comments? It's got to be the same person.
That's true. You're right.
You're so right, Hannah.
You're so right. I can't. Yeah. Anyways, what I was about to say is people are fucking horrible to women on the internet. You don't even get a fucking chance. You might as well.
Right.
And unfortunately, you have to be like primed going in. It's like, oh, you're going to put a video of you doing anything at all. Like prepare to have the most truly
onslaught.
horrific things, said at you.
Well, tell me if this is good or bad to women, because I'm not honestly sure.
Yeah, let me know.
This is another comment on our tiny desk. Why is it that surface beauty is inversely correlated to talent? Now, which one is it that we have?
I love that because that's a double insult. No matter how you take it,
Are we pretty or are we talented? That's what I want to know.
What? Yeah, that was like the Van Gogh
Adam,
of
I want to know.
trolls.
Yeah,
It's breaking up. It seems like,
that's an incredible comment. Like, Adam, you're a writer. You know, you're doing all this writing alongside your album.
Sure.
You've got to admit that's incredible writing.
Oh no, exactly. That's the like a Henry David Thoreau of internet
Totally.
Trolling. Yeah.
That's like the
Anyways, you slice it. It's just brilliant.
It is. Well, that's the thing. It's like it's all bad. Even when men on the internet think they're doing a good thing by being like, I'm going to say something nice and then a critique. It's like, no.
Little compliment sandwich.
Yeah. You don't have to do that. You don't have to do any of it. Oh, it's such a losing battle, and it is a like completely incurable disease. And I'm sorry you have to deal with it.
I appreciate that. I mean, well, I think...
And I'm sorry about those comments I posted, because when I hear them read back to me, because it's like, I understand, I do want the respect, owed to me for all the work of creating so many different accounts to kind of make it seem like a lot of different people think you look like Abbi from Broad City. But at the same time, I am beginning to feel as though I was in the wrong, and I'm starting to have the inclination to apologize.
Wow. This is a very fruitful podcast then.
Yeah. This is a huge missed connection that we didn't even know about.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah. So every this is only on your tiny desk, but all the negative comments are me, in fact. That's like that's like what the Joker is doing in a pandemic.
Yeah.
It's like he can't safely terrorize anyone else anymore. And he's like, I don't know, I guess I'm going to be a troll for a while.
You chose us. And Adam,
did.
how did you hear about us?
Oh, it might have been through Sarah, through drummer Sarah.
Sarah. Another
Who I
missed
think-
connection.
I don't think you understand what missed connection means even.
Lies.
Because that's like, I thought this was
So
more like
another
I was
connection.
you like, exactly. These are
Spotted
just-
on the B train.
These are just connections. Has anyone written a romantic comedy called Mr. Connection?
That's you. That's all you.
I
Thank
Spies
you.
album 5.
Yeah, thank you. No. I am done with albums. The Sarah drummer Sarah drums for you, drummed for Teen.
Yeah.
Super awesome person. I think mixes these podcasts for you.
Yes.
Yeah.
And was
Occasion-
a guest on the first episode.
Sure.
Yeah.
I love it. So yeah, it was probably that. But I don't know, mutual buds. You gotta pay attention to who's around. And I don't know.
You do.
Yeah.
Beat-
I want to
beats
share
me.
another misconnection.
I'd love to hear it.
Well, there's two left that I know of.
Okay.
One is that we know Nick Hakim,
Sure.
and actually our first ever show was opening for Nick at our college,
Which college?
Wesleyan.
You went to Wesleyan. I don't think I knew that. Cool.
Yeah.
Another missed connection.
Another
No,
misconnection.
now wait a minute.
And there was a show that was you and Nick.
Mm-hmm.
And I was at that show.
So this is another connection then.
It's a missed connection.
This is when we played solo together in Manhattan.
Yes. It gets it gets crazier.
It gets more missed.
It gets more missed. Then after the show, you, somebody else.
Okay, so this is where you say we
Nick,
met, and now I look like a
drove us all home. Mm-hmm. And I'll tell you one other, which will not.
So it was me. So it was me then who drove.
It was.
Because I drove it. Because I drove everywhere.
A ride.
So this is.
But I'm going to share one more detail that may or may not make it onto the podcast, which is that you gave me a ride to your place because I was on a date with someone who lived in your building.
This is very weird that I don't remember this. That is really funny. This is truly could not be more of the opposite of a missed connection because we were in the same car. And apparently we had like we probably had a meaningful conversation.
We have to share our final misconnection.
We need to stop recording. Okay, this whole concept is let's hear it.
Okay, so then Adam, after all of these events where we almost became best friends and Landlady and Overcoats joined to be one super group, we then also saw you because I think you performed at the Beacon with Sylvanesso. And we're longtime Sylvanesso fans, and we recently signed to the same label as them.
Yes.
And so we were like nerding out because we got to go backstage and drink the band's like Sprite and stuff. And you very well may have been in that room.
Sure. You've been at some really nice shows that I was at, and it's what we in the business call a missed connection, and I just am so thrilled that we can finally connect for real.
Connection.
No, that's not it. There's got to be a better word for when you finally meet after a missed connection, but I'll get it. I'll figure it out.
Well, thank you so much, Adam, for talking to us today.
Yeah, just let me know when we're going to start, and I'm ready to dive in. It's nice that you let me kind of do a run through of what we're going to talk about.
Yeah,
so
because
it's good to practice.
I'll begin with the first question.
I just hate these podcasts where you just kind of get into it. You just start and get into it, and it's like, I don't get comfortable. You don't get comfortable. Everyone says the wrong thing.
You've been nervous the whole time.
Yeah, there's a lot of dead air.
Yeah. For all of our listeners out there, the new Landlady self-titled album is out now. You can stream it everywhere. Thank you so much, Adam, and give our love to Ian Chang.
This podcast was mixed by Timmy Gruber.